Hello, and welcome to a new season of the Rocket Sports Report. I'm the Editor-in-Chief of the Rocket, Cody Nesper.
And I'm the Rocket Sports Editor, Justin Kraus.
Tonight on the Rocket Sports Report, we have highlights from the football team's 49-45 win against Gannon this past Saturday. We'll also talk about the men's soccer team winless streak, and we'll talk about how the volleyball team has cooled off after a very hot start to the season. But first, we'll begin with the field hockey team upsetting the number 3 team in the country, Westchester, this past Saturday.
The Rock scored 4 goals on 8 shots from 4 different players to upset the Rams and move to 6-3 on the season. Goals from Kayla Ulrich, Brittany Morgan, Allison Grant, and Kayla Krepsky, as well as a strong performance from goalies Maddie Murphy and Nicole Bream led SRU to the win. Cody, do you think the field hockey team could continue to upset highly ranked PSAC teams?
I think they usually upset a couple every year. The PSAC's one of the better Division II field hockey conferences. There's, I think, 4 teams in the top 10, so there's usually a good chance the Rock will upset one of them. I haven't seen too much from the field hockey team this year to lead me to believe that they're gonna, win the conference or anything like that. I think we can be encouraged by some of the young players, especially Kayla Ulrich. She leads the team in shots. She's top 10 in the conference in shots. She's clearly providing some offense, and I think the goalies have made a nice tandem. But we're gonna have to see what comes of it.
We definitely will. I mean, they're very freshman-laden. They're very heavy on freshmen. So they already have 6 wins this season. That's been their cap a lot of seasons in the past. So they already have 6 wins this early into the season. However more they get is just such a bonus because all those freshmen are just going to keep getting better and better each year.
That's right. Now we'll move on to the volleyball team, who after starting the year 8-0 have lost 6 straight games, including starting 0-2 in conference play. They haven't won a match since September 9th, and in their past 6 losses, they are being outscored 394 to 328 over 24 sets. At the beginning of the year, they were converting on more scoring opportunities, scoring more points off aces, and committing a lot less errors. So Justin, what has the team been doing wrong over the last couple of weekends, and what do they need to change to start winning again? Well,
first you have to point out that the first 8 games, not a knock against who they were playing, they were in tournament play. Tournament play, you always play lesser competition than the PSAC. PSAC is by no means a slouch for volleyball conference play. So first of all, they're playing tougher teams. That's always going to get you. And for me, I think it's really, they need more help from the bench. I mean, you got to look at most of their kills come from sophomore Kaylee Fucci and freshman Erin Cajo. 2 underclassmen, 117 kills for Fucci, 112 for Cajo. That is a lot to put on some underclassmen, and you're just really not getting too many outside help. Earlier in the season in tournament play, they had seniors like Hannah Lombardo coming off the bench and really hitting the ball from the outside, adding to their scores, but they're just really not seeing that. I mean, on defense, they've been solid. Courtney Oberlander's having another unreal year after breaking the Slip Rock record for digs last year. She already has 310 digs, and she's second in the PSAC. They were getting a lot of solid assist work as well from Zoe Reve and Haley Defabaugh, so the defense is there, and the offense could be. I just think, you got to have more than 2 people scoring the most points for you.
I agree with you on that. I think looking at the starting lineup, they're pretty solid. Looking at the starting lineup to begin the year, I was really encouraged because it was a lot of names I recognized, which means those girls are pretty good. We are going to get to see them at home for the first time this weekend. We'll see how good they look this weekend, and hopefully they can start winning again.
Absolutely. And then another team that has struggled to find the win column lately is the men's soccer team. Since beating Lake Erie College on September 3rd, they have lost 4 games and tied 3 games, scoring a total of only 4 goals in that span. Their defense and goalie are playing tough against tougher teams, but against tougher teams, the offense has really just disappeared. They've been shut out 4 total times this year and have started the season 1-4 and 3 in PSAC, with PSAC play already underway. Cody, how do you think this team's going to be able to turn the ship around before it's too late?
They need to play more exciting style of soccer. Because right now they have some of the least amount of shots taken in the PSAC, and they have some of the least shots taken against them in the PSAC. That is about the worst brand of soccer, I think, for viewers to watch, because it's a lot of contesting possession in the midfield, and especially a lot of the soccer games I've seen, the Rock's having trouble even getting it past midfield. But, I mean, credit to the defense and starting goalie Jonathan Sharp. They're not letting up a lot of goals, which is keeping them in all these games. But I think a lot of the time the final score is not representative of how the team's playing, because I think in a lot of these games I've seen, the other team is really dominating possession in the Rock zone. And I think they just need to get more out of some of their offensive players. The one I was really excited about to start the season was the freshman Brady Stinger. He scored 44 goals last year as a senior in high school, and he had 73 career prep goals. He hasn't done anything yet so far He's a guy that even though he's a freshman, I'd like him to step up a bit more. And then just the offense on the whole has to start performing.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Whenever you score less than 1 goal a game, that just becomes unacceptable at a point. And like you said, these freshmen like Brady Sittinger, like so many goals in high school, so prolific. He has 1 shot this entire year. That you can't do that when you're bringing in that kind of talent. I mean, they're not getting any production from their bench at all, and they're just really not even taking that many shots on goal. They're not taking any risks at all.
They need to start taking more risks, especially in the midfield. I do think they have offensively enough talent to score goals, put the ball in the back of the net, but they're not putting themselves in positions to do that when they spend all day in the midfield. I will say, head coach Steve Small tweeted out a couple days ago that they got a big recruit for the 2018 class. Obviously, we don't know who that is, but just based off Twitter, coach was really excited about it. We'll probably have to wait till the spring to find out who that is, but it's a nice little mystery.
That's exciting. Yeah, looking forward to it in the spring.
Last weekend, Slippery Rock's football team beat rival Gannon in a thrilling 49-45 contest. Despite Gannon's nation-leading running back Mark Jones rushing for 354 yards, Slippery Rock was able to prevail behind Tanner Gary's 518 passing yards and 5 total touchdowns for Marcus Johnson. We have highlights from that game, courtesy of Rock Athletics.
And you're going to see Rock quarterback Tanner Gary here take the snap and fire a absolute dart to Millie Ray, who's going to make a cut and then make a swim move, not a spin move for the touchdown. Rock up 6-0.
7-6 now, Gannon lead. Still in the first quarter, Gary's going to throw it down the sideline for Marcus Johnson, who's going to get a couple extra yards after this, picking up the first down for the Rock.
And here's Gary again. He's going to take the snap. He's going to fire to Mike Merhot here, who's going to cross in again in territory. However, the Rock would not come away with any points on the drive.
Gannon threatening to score. Quarterback Jimmy Keefe's going to get sacked here by Sean Dorn and Tim Sove. Gannon with a field goal.
Getting her on their own 30, and here's a pitch, and just a fantastic read and awesome play there by freshman linebacker Tristan McDonald to back Gannon up even further.
Gary going back to pass here. He's going to throw it up for the 6'6" Carno Harley. High points the ball. It takes a couple of defenders to take him down. Slippery Rock first down.
Second quarter now. Gary takes a snap. He's going to throw a fade, and just an incredible catch here by Marcus Johnson. His first of many on the day. Rock up 13-7.
Gannon at their own 20. Keefe's going to scramble around here in the pocket before eventually throwing it here, and it's almost picked off by Tavares Sample.
Gary's going to take the snap here. Play action is going to roll out, throw to a wide open tight end, and Brian McNally going to cross the 50 and tackle into the Gannon 45.
Gary here, he's going to throw out the defense a little pump fake before throwing it back down the sideline to Carnell Harley, who's going to make a nice move to get past the defender and get all the way down inside the 20-yard line.
Second and goal here, Gary takes a snap, hands off to Isaiah Neely. He is going to be in the end zone for the score, 20-13 Rock.
Gary dropping back to pass again, fires the ball into traffic, caught by Millie Ray. His signature spin move here gets him a couple extra yards. Rock first down.
Green and white at the 25 now. Gary's going to take the snap, fires a quick screen to Marcus Johnson, who's going to use some fancy footwork to get the ball down inside the Gannon 15 for another Rock first down.
Stop me if you heard this one before. It's going to be Gary throwing it up for Marcus Johnson in the end zone. Touchdown, 27-13 Rock, 2 minutes left before halftime.
And we're going to pick it up in the second half here. Rock going to do a 1-point lead, a quick screen to Millie Ray. He's going to make a couple nice moves and outrun a few defenders to get to the Rock 40-yard line.
This is going to be a handoff to Shakar Berry. He's going to show some strength getting through 2 defenders and eventually getting down for a 9-yard gain.
This time it's a draw to Berry, who has so much green but just trips on his own offensive lineman and ends up with a 7-yard gain.
Gannon's knocking on the door here, but a tremendous tackle by Tristan McDonald. McDonald came up big all day for the Rock.
And you're going to see Gannon lining up for a kickoff now. At this point in the game, Golden Knights were leading 32-27, and the education program, again, it must be poor because they just do not seem to learn. As they kick the ball off to Slippery Rock, Marcus Johnson takes it away from Millie Ray there, and after this one move here, he just has a seam. Already at the Rock 40-yard line, he is way, way gone for his second kickoff return touchdown of the year, and now the Rock is back in the lead.
Tyler Palkin at quarterback for Gannon. He's going to get run out of bounds here by Tavares Sample for a slight gain.
In the fourth quarter now, Gary looking downfield. Second straight week, a leaping grab by Dylan Stapleton right at midfield this time.
Gary's looking one way. He's going to throw it the other. Deep up for Andrew Bridgeforth, who's going to pull it in for a 35-yard gain.
And you see Rock's at the red zone. Gary's going to drop back here. To the surprise of no one, a fade to Marcus Johnson is caught. Rock retakes the lead 39-38.
Here's the ensuing kickoff. Bridgeforth going to come up big again, forcing a fumble here. Rock's going to recover it inside the Gannon 30, looking to put more points on the board.
You see just a great play by Bridgeforth. He played absolutely tremendously all game. And here's Jake Chapler. The results of that forced fumble on kickoff. He's going to nail a 43-yard field goal here to put the Rock up and extend their lead to 42-38.
2 minutes left here, Rock trailing. Gary's going to pump fake, throw it down the sideline to an open Marcus Johnson, who's going to take it the distance all the way to the house. You're going to see a couple different angles on this one just because it was a near perfect throw from Gary to a streaking Marcus Johnson. He burned that Gannon corner all day long, absolutely tormented him. That was his 4th receiving touchdown of the day, tying his own school record. Johnson leads the country in all-purpose yards, receiving touchdowns, and return touchdowns through 4 weeks.
Just such an incredible year by Marcus Johnson. And 4th and 3 now, game on the line. Mark Jones hasn't been stopped all day, but look who comes up big. Freshman Dylan Whiteman and Tristan McDonald for the stop.
And here's Gary taking a knee, putting the game to rest. Scared late, but the Rock defense held strong to get the 49-45 win. Rock moves to 4-0 on the year for a big matchup against number 5 Cal U this weekend.
We are joined tonight by the Rockets assistant sports editor, Steve Sukovich, to discuss the football team's upcoming home game against California University of Pennsylvania this Saturday. Cal U is currently the number 5 team in the nation with a 4-0 record, although they did just barely beat a struggling Seton Hill team 44-41 last weekend. So, Steve, what do you think the Rock's game plan is going to look like going into this game against number 5 team in the country?
For the offense, it's going to be real pass heavy because with Tanner Gary, Marcus Johnson, Millie Ray, they got the number 1 pass offense in the PSAC going against the 2nd worst pass defense in the PSAC in Cal U. So I expect them just to be coming out throwing the ball, running it here and there, but other than that, it's going to be all Gary. Gary.
I think it's going to look a lot like the Gannon game. I think it's going to be a blowout. The only difference between this and the Gannon game, I don't think the Rock defense is going to do enough to stop Cal U's offense from scoring, 67, probably not 70. But yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in this Slippery Rock defense. I like the offense, but I don't think they're going to outscore this Cal U offense. They're number 5 in the nation for a reason. With one little asterisk is they barely beat Seton Hill, and Seton Hill is a struggling team, and they only beat Millersville by 16, and Millersville is always terrible.
Historically awful.
Yeah, so that's if the defense can hold up just enough, like at Gannon, to keep Cal U off the board, just enough for the offense to outscore them, I think they'll have a good shot.
Well, my thing about Cal U is obviously the number 5 ranking. That's big and scary, but it's a lot of them coming into the year because they did beat Ohio Dominican to start the year. Ohio Dominican isn't currently ranked, but they were a historic Division II power. I understand that. And then they played a nobody. They blew out Cheney. Like you said, only beat Millersville by 16, beat Seton Hill by 3. And if I know this Rock football team and Coach Lutz, they're not going to be scared of that number 5 record. Honestly, I have not seen anything from Cal this year. Not saying they're a bad team by any means. I haven't seen anything justify the number 5 team in the country ranking. They're very middling in the PSAC in almost every statistical category, with the exception of a few things. They greatly excel in special teams. They lead the PSAC in kick coverage, PATs, and field goals. And another little thing that might not be too little with how Slip Rock has been this year on this facet, they're the least penalized team in the PSAC. Slip Rock has been pretty flag happy some of these games. Cal U, I think that's what they're going to have to rely on. They're going to have to rely on those things, and they have a monstrous offensive line. They're probably going to whitewash Slippery Rock's defensive linemen. So, again, it's going to come down to all those freshman linebackers. Just like it did last week, and you saw how well it went for them. They gave up over 400 yards to Mark Jones last week. So, Steve, on the defensive side, can the Rock do anything? Can they adjust their game plan, or is it just the personnel, do you think?
They're going to have to use more cornerbacks. They're going to have to step back. They've got the number 1 pass defense, but yet again, they only got 1 interception to show for it. They have forced some fumbles here and there, but they need to get some more turnovers to at least stay in the ballgame.
And then how big of a factor do you think special teams is going to be?
I think it's going to be big. Obviously, Marcus Johnson and Millie Ray have been unbelievable on special teams this year. Jake Chapler has a monster leg. Hasn't really been able to kind of be cut free from Lutz and actually show off how strong his leg is. It'll probably take a special team score or two for the Rock to win. The one thing I will say that has me worried about this Rock team is they're 4-0, but it's 4 unimpressive wins, if you ask me. Because Kentucky State is not good, and the Rock let them hang around the whole game. Lock Haven, also not good. That game was a little better for Slippery Rock, but it was an unimpressive first half. And then Westchester, they gave up a 21-point lead late in the game, and then Gannon, they only won basically on the back of Marcus Johnson. So I haven't been impressed so far from this football team.
I mean, I can see how you would see that, but on offense, you have Tony Gear. He's a quarterback with absolutely no fear. I mean, 518 passing yards last week, second most for any Slippery Rock quarterback in a single game in history. And if you have, that's a match made in heaven. A quarterback with no fear and somebody as ridiculously talented as Marcus Johnson. You saw Andrew Bridforth step forward last week with over 100 yards receiving, and of course, Millie Ray is always there in the slot. I just think this is a Rock football team that they may not be the best team in the country. They may not even be deserving of the number 18 ranking that they have right now. But what they do have is they have some playmakers that on any given day, any given play, they could always score 7 points. You got playmakers like that. I just think they could be in any game. I think Slippery Rock's going to be able to beat Cal this weekend. Cal's not impressed me yet. Slippery Rock has shown resolve. They have given up a lot of late leads, but I mean, it's Mahalik Thompson Stadium. Slippery Rock just does not lose there.
Steve, you talked to Lutz this morning at the media luncheon. What was his kind of thoughts on this game?
His thought was that, Justin just mentioned we're very good at home. He mentioned how we're 24-1 in the past 3 or 4 years here at home. We have only lost 1 game, so he's really pumped about getting behind the Rock crowd, and hopefully they'll be able to turn the tide. And also, he also mentioned that Gary Johnson or Tanner Gary is also right now helping the Rock offense get to the best in the nation on third down conversion rate, which is actually pretty well for them.
It's a lot of conflicting factors going into this weekend. Just, it's football. It's college football. Yeah. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Number 5 team in the country. It's Slippery Rock at home. Who knows? I'm sure it's going to be a great game. But like you said, it's probably going to be a very high-scoring one. Look for scores up in the 60s. Look for a basketball score this weekend.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in this week. We'll be back next week with even more Slippery Rock athletics coverage. Remember, you can read all these stories and more on theonlinerocket.com. Big thanks to Rock Athletics for supplying the video this week, and we'll see you next time.